Hello, welcome back to the Football Chat podcast. We are here and it's episode 29, so close to 30 now. And that means, quite close to 50 as well, only 21 off, well over halfway there. But done a lot of them already. And today we're discussing, pretty much all the leagues in Europe, but we're focusing, as it says in the title, on the Serie A and the quite controversial statement of that the Serie A is the best league in the world right now. I think that's a discussion to be had, because I'd say the games that we've watched in the Serie A this season on live stream have been absolutely brilliant games of football.
No, they've been alright, yeah.
And some of the Prem games we've watched have been very dry.
Yeah, but also vice versa. We've seen some great Prem games, we've seen some pretty dull Serie A games.
I disagree. I think all the Serie A games we've watched, even when they don't have high score lines, are very good games of football.
What dull Premier League games we watched?
Arsenal, West Ham. Everton, West Ham.
Yeah, but that's different. That's different because we haven't gone and... Because for me, I look at it so we've watched the Milan derby. You'd compare that to the Manchester derby. Everton West Ham will be watching Fiorentina Roma, which we didn't.
Yeah.
At the moment, the way this season's going, it's like watching Fiorentina versus Torino or someone like that. But
Torino in the news. Obviously, they beat Inter Milan last night at the time of recording. Yeah, sorry, Drew, which somewhat saved Inter's skin there, but
they scored in the 94th minute.
Yeah,
I thought it was very jammy.
Inter Milan well up there in the title race with AC and Napoli, but throwing away big points leaves them at quite the disadvantage.
Because if they'd won their game in hand, if they'd beaten Torino.
2 more points, up to 61, then win the game in hand, they go ahead by 1 point. Now, though, if they win their game in hand, they're still a point off AC.
It's at the point now where a single point does matter.
Yeah.
Really. So
to make the biggest difference.
Turning a draw into a loss, turning a draw into a win, turning a loss into a draw.
Yeah.
Gaining those 1 point. 1 point and 2 points is crucial, really, at this stage.
Yeah, I do think they're very much the three teams in it. Milan, Napoli, Inter. I think Napoli only 3 points off AC. Inter win the game in hand, they're just 1. They're only 3 points, separate the top 3. Juve, just a little bit off that, I'd say. The 4 points behind Napoli, 3 behind Inter, but of course Inter have that aforementioned game in hand. And Juventus a whole 7 points behind AC. I definitely think it's not insurmountable. Especially with they've got a big game against Inter coming up, which we will be covering on here live.
Yeah.
Sunday the 3rd of April, I think it is. I think it's 7:15. It's like a 7:30 kickoff, or 8:45 kickoff, something like that, on Sunday the 3rd of April. So we'll be covering that whatever time it kicks off. Though I don't think they've got that far ahead on the fixture list, because it's not been all the Serie A games are kicking off at the same time. So it'll be some point that weekend. Whether we do it or not will be dependent on what other fixtures are on.
If we can watch the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because VT. That's the thing, though. I that shows, I guess it is in England, though. The fact that England shows that they don't really care about other leagues. Because BT Sport would never not show the first 15 minutes of a Premier League game. Whereas Serie A, they just join in the 16th minute.
Yeah, it's so strange though, because it's you've purchased, the rights to cover it. Why aren't you broadcasting the first 50 minutes?
Your commentators watching
no
it, your cameras are there, it's all ready to go. Why? And instead, and it's not like the things they put on beforehand, the Ashes reload. Who gives one?
Yeah, well, they just put any filler content on.
Who's watching the Ashes?
If you put BT Sport on any time there's not a live event, they will just be showing random shit. It's like
horse race from 2011.
It's like all the Sky channels when they're not in use. Like F1 for 3 months just becomes highlights of the season we've just seen.
Like the Monaco Grand Prix. Randomly.
No, they're throwing all the Grand Prix on at various different times and stuff. So.
Like they go meet Anthony Davidson, goes and meets some
just random stuff.
rally cars.
But discussing the table a little bit further, that 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th battle is very interesting.
Yeah.
Of course, we looked a bit into the Serie A table not too long ago. And Fiorentina are up in 4th, but obviously they were very much propelled by Dusan Vlahovic's goals. And now with him being sold to Juve, they find themselves somewhat on the back foot because they're now down 8th. They're on 46 points, so 10 points behind Juve now. They're very much out of that fight, but they're 2 points off Atalanta in 5th. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, just separated by 2 points. It's Atalanta in 5th with 48 points. Roma in 6th with 48 points as well. Lazio in 7th with 46 and Fiorentina in 8th with 46 points. Roma have played the most games with 29, the rest have all played 28. But I do think Fiorentina, if they win that game, they go up to 49. If the others lose, they suddenly find themselves back on top of the pile. But
I think the big thing
for
really
the 5th
shows Vlahovic's impact in
back.
teams. Because Fiorentina, he got him up to 4th. Then he left for Juventus, and since joining, Juventus now find themselves 8 points clear of Atalanta in 5th, and are very much at the tail end of the title battle.
Yeah, I mean they've pushed themselves back up into
nowhere. They've come out, they've managed to find themselves and give them a chance in this title.
Yeah, 9 games left. They're 7 points off the top. I think if Milan drop points in the big games, I think they've still got to play Roma and Lazio.
I mean, they've got some solid results. They've picked up 1-0, 2-0 wins when they haven't been playing well.
Just check that quickly.
And they've looked very good, Milan.
Milan still have Lazio, Fiorentina and Atalanta to play.
And they've still got to go to a cup semi-final.
Coppa Italia final against Inter Milan. Wednesday 20th of April. Could be worth doing that one if it is on in the UK. I think it's that Premier TV thing, which we don't have.
Because the semi-finals we'd have watched as well. I think that's Milan, Napoli, and Inter,
Juve.
Roma, or Inter Juve.
Yeah, I think it's Inter Juve.
Yeah, something like that.
And that's Milan Inter in the Coppa Italia. It might be the semis actually. Yeah.
Oh, semi-final second leg.
Milan Inter be the semi-final second leg. Yeah.
Okay, so scratch that. I do me to Milan are on course to do a double at the moment.
Yeah.
That'd be incredible.
The thing I would say though is that their goal difference isn't as healthy as others. They've got a 26 goal difference. Napoli with a 30, Inter with a 38. So the thing is they don't really score. I think they've got lucky. Well, I mean they've played football obviously, but they don't.
No, you can't say so. You get lucky to be top of the league.
They've conceded the most of the top 4 and scored the second most as well, but. They've conceded the most of the top 4 with 29 and they've scored the second most.
Oh, but their goal difference, so it's kind of I would say outscore people, but they haven't got the top. What's the gap? What's the deficit in goal difference? Is it massive?
They're on 26, Napoli 30, Inter 38.
Okay, so Inter, in terms of Napoli.
Thing is, Milan haven't really slapped teams. Every game's a 2-0, 1-0 win, something like that.
Get the job done. That's what all you need to do. It doesn't matter whether you get 6 past them or 2.
And they got 4-1 against Cagliari early in the season. Very good game. 4-3. Lost to Fiorentina away. They lost 3-1 to Sassuolo at home as well.
Helped.
And Spezia they lost to early jam.
Yeah, then they've gone and beaten teams like Roma and Lazio.
And they beat Inter not too long ago.
Yeah, we watched that game.
They beat Napoli.
Exactly.
Start of March.
And that's probably the 3 points they've got over Napoli. It's probably that
will be those 3 points.
And that's the thing. Obviously, if Inter win their game in hand, they'll close the gap to 1 point.
Napoli play Atalanta, Fiorentina, and Roma. There's 3 of their next 4 games. Very tough run for them. AC Milan have to play Lazio, Fiorentina, and Atalanta or something like that right toward the end of the season. Just go check Inter's fixture list quickly.
And I feel like the question...
So we can judge who's got the most favourable one.
The question of is the Serie A the best league in the world right now? There isn't right now, I think, because obviously for the last few years, but not discounting last year, but the years before this year and last year, it was very Juventus dominated, the Serie A. They won it, so many times in a row. And it was until last year that obviously Inter Milan won it, didn't they?
Inter have still got Juve and Roma and Fiorentina this weekend. So
Inter obviously stopped Juventus last year, and it looks like, again, it won't be Juventus winning it. And I think that is why it has come into the discussion of being the best league in the world.
Because it's such a good battle for the top.
That's exactly, it's so competitive, and the team that were dominating don't dominate anymore. If you told me 4 or 5 years ago it's the Serie A the best league in the world right now, absolutely not, because Juventus were probably 10 points clear and already won the league.
It's not been a great league since like the early 2000s. That was when it was like the best league in the world. You got like Ronaldinho. I mean, you had that fantastic AC Milan side that were very unlucky to lose in the final in Istanbul against AC Milan. Probably the best Champions League final against Liverpool. Sorry, probably the best Champions League final of all time. Definitely up there, considering the last few Champions League finals have been such a car crash.
That is the other thing. Champions League finals. Last year, obviously loved it as a Chelsea fan, but 1-0 2 English sides. Might as well just call it the FA Cup final, the Carabao Cup final. PSG Bayern. Who cares? Obviously loads of people care, but they're not the big...
It was a naff final.
They're not the big Real Madrids, Barcelonas.
I disagree that they're not big sides, but I think 2 of the last 3 finals have been all English finals. Nobody wants to see that.
Liverpool,
because
Tottenham.
you can predict the outcome immediately.
Terrible.
Yeah, that was ruined by the referee making a huge error very early. Sent off Sissoko, I think it was, or didn't. It was either he sent him off and gave a penalty, or I know he gave a penalty very early, and that kind of.
It was still
because Liverpool scored that, and then that was pretty much it.
Liverpool Real Madrid was a good final. Until just because Karius was rubbish, and it was hilarious to watch, and Bale scored a bicycle kick.
And then of course you had dominance from Real Madrid for 3 years.
A bit like the Serie A, really. Last couple of years, other teams have managed to be competitive. But before that, it was absolutely dominated by everyone, by Juventus.
Yeah.
One thing I do like to kind of look at is comparing the title race and the top 4 race to the other leagues.
We'll get into it's the best leagues in the world right now. I would say the Premier League is quite clearly the best.
In terms of talent, who's playing in it, the teams, the competition.
I'd say if you made a league similar to the Super League of every team in Europe's top 5 leagues, I think the Premier League teams would finish an average of the highest.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think you'd see one below. You might see one below 50th or 2, but you're not going to see many. If you think about it, of course, you'll have, I think all of the top 10 in the Premier League would be in the top 20. Maybe not. Maybe it'd be close. Certainly the top 7.
Lots of teams in there.
Top 7 would definitely be in the top 20.
Maybe.
I reckon.
Really, a Wolves are going to get...
They're not 7th. Top 7's like Chelsea, Liverpool, City, Manchester United, Arsenal, West Ham, Tottenham.
I think West Ham would get absolutely annihilated.
I think they would. Because you've got to remember, they're not just playing Bayern Munich every week. They'd be playing the bottom sides of every other league as well as the bottom sides of the Premier League.
So in terms of the title race, yes, Milan's very competitive. You've got a 3-way, possibly a 4-way title.
Yes, Italy is very, very competitive.
But still, for Premier League, for example, you still got the top 2 going at it, City and Liverpool.
Yeah.
If Chelsea decided to buy wing backs, then they'd still be in there. And if Chelsea managed to get the pace, then you end up with 3, and then you end up the same scenario. In terms of top 4, the Premier League is equally as close.
I mean, you're going to have a very interesting battle for 3rd in a minute if Arsenal keep on their form and Chelsea don't. Because if Arsenal win their next 2 games, they close to within 2 points of Chelsea, having played an equal amount of games. So, Yeah, I mean, obviously Chelsea have just come out of a difficult run. Obviously, the whole Abramovich stuff hasn't helped, and then Liverpool City as well before that, which is good because it means they've covered a lot of the hard games. I guess the biggest thing for Chelsea now is keeping the club afloat, trying to get a sale done, rather than...
That's pretty a separate video, isn't it, that one? I mean, wow.
Yeah. I don't think there's too much to say, though. It is what it is. You can't really... We can rant and say that the sanctions aren't deserved, because it's no longer about Russia and Ukraine there. It's more about punishing Chelsea Football Club, seemingly. But I don't think there's anything really to add to the conversation. I think everything that needs to be said has been said by others before. Yeah. So. But yeah, if we're looking at the best leagues in the world, I think Premier League has got a strong, a firm hold at the top of that list. In terms of the others, a lot of people...
Also, we only look at top 5, right?
Liga. I think it's the most disrespected league. I think it's the most disrespected league, and you're about to prove it. Prove me right.
Who is challenging PSG?
Doesn't matter.
Well, it does.
You can have a good league that doesn't have a big challenge at the top. Yes, they're 15 points ahead. But
you don't hear... Lille won it last year.
Yeah.
What have they done this year?
Struggled under new management. Well, they're 6th.
I just don't see, how close is it? What's the competitiveness of it?
There is 9 points between 2nd and 10th. 11 points between 2nd and... 12 points between 2nd and 11th.
Half that isn't playing for anything.
What?
Because, so you look at that, so the title's already wrapped up.
Yeah. I think people underestimate the football just because PSG are dominant.
I think
it's the least invested league in the world apart from PSG. If you take PSG out, it's the least invested of the top 5 by an absolute country mile, and yet people just immediately write off the quality of football. Where actually, Ligue 1 games are really good to watch.
I don't watch it because I just...
the fact that anyone from 10th upwards could still realistically take 2nd.
How interesting... So you got 2nd versus 3rd there. You've got Marseille 2nd, Nice 3rd, right?
Yeah.
So what was the game like between them? I'm just out of interest. I want to see what's the scores like.
Marseille beat Angers 5-2 at the start of Feb. I'm trying to find Marseille Nice.
Where are Angers in the league? They're bottom. That's like City going to Norwich and winning 5-2.
No, they win 7-0.
Well, exactly.
I think the gulf between top side excluded, I think the gulf between the bottom and the top of the league is minimal. Is the most minimal of all the leagues.
I don't know who's bottom of the league, and I think look.
The Prem teams can't even they can give them a good game occasionally, but you can't even touch it. It was 1-1 between Nice and Marseille.
Right, okay, that's just interesting.
There's a lot of yellow cards after the 90th minute.
Christ.
7.
There's 2 problems. Okay, yeah, that actually brings up another problem I have with League One.
There is a lot of crowd trouble.
There's so much crowd. They're just fighting.
But it's passion, innit?
I don't care.
You're not going to see any crowd trouble in England.
There's a difference between passion and just over the top. There's no need to start, the crowd to start messing around and throwing things and fighting each other. And there's no need for the players to start fighting each other either.
They're more, a lot of the crowd trouble is because of the terrible owners out there.
Well, exactly, and that proves it isn't a good league.
I disagree because it doesn't matter that the owners are rubbish. I think the Premier League owners are terrible. But all owners are terrible people.
Yeah, we don't see United, because they've got bad owners.
United versus Liverpool was called off this season because the fans ran onto the pitch and just messed about.
Well, at least they didn't try and throw something at their opposition.
They didn't. There's very little crowd fight.
What do you mean by crowd trouble then? Just go.
Most of the stuff in France is like throwing stuff at the players.
That's what I'm saying. Throwing stuff at the players.
Yeah, but if you look at, you can't. They've had more call-offs this season due to crowd trouble.
Yeah,
but then
for me, there's a difference between marching the pitch and being violent towards.
it wasn't march on the pitch, was it, man? At Man United, they were just running on, playing football, jumping on the goals, breaking seats. Just absolutely ludicrous. But I think ownership at the moment in football is a huge problem.
Well, yeah,
because the people who own the clubs I think you have very few good owners. A lot of them are either in it for the try and make profit, or they're just. I mean that is the sole reason. Or they're terrible people outside the sport. They might not be in it for the profit, but then they're a terrible person outside.
There's nothing you can do about that because they're the people.
Yeah, of course. It's how the world.
Like,
That's how the whole
I'm
world.
a passionate fan. I'd love to be owning Chelsea, but I don't have $3 billion to buy it off a brand.
It looks like it's going to be the Saudis.
Exactly.
Which is a shame.
And they don't give a shit.
Because they do. That's as much as I love that we're going to have owners that do care about football and are, pumping money in. I don't want to be owned by people where the country it's still like they're bombing Yemen every day. It's still illegal to be gay there. Among other, there's quite a lot of backwards rules in Saudi Arabia, and the fact that they're allowed to own football clubs is just so baffling to me.
Well, I mean, they got the money.
I can't understand it, and how they've not been sanctioned while Ibrahimovic is being sanctioned makes no sense. Because the Saudis are the people. Well, I mean, it does make sense, but because they're giving the UK oil, but
exactly, they're giving. If you go sanction the Saudis now, think about the massive losses in terms of all teams that are already Saudi owned.
Yeah, but then you look at like Abramovich. Abramovich is the people that own Newcastle United are the people that are directly the people that are causing the problems. They're the people that are bombing Yemen.
Well, yeah,
Abramovich has not done anything to Ukraine. That was very much Putin and like the Russian army and his backing, people like that. So I don't know why Chelsea Football Club has been sanctioned for any of it, because that doesn't seem very fair. But I think the UK government are just doing nothing and using Russia-Ukraine as an excuse to get Abramovich, someone they don't like, out of the country. Because Abramovich has done so much more, especially during lockdown and stuff, for the people of England than the government did. He gave, because no one could go in the hotels, he let NHS staff stay in them. Because they needed somewhere to stay. He's just done so much. It makes no sense that he's been sanctioned. But try not to get into that. We're trying not to get into it today, but I guess we have now. But yeah.
I forgot where we were now.
Crowd trouble, which you were getting annoyed at.
No, Liga, crowd trouble and just. I don't mind building up a big there's a difference between building up an atmosphere and then just being. I don't mind. We watched when. Watched first leg of PSG Real Madrid. Had a couple of flares in their hands. weren't doing anything about them. Just built.
I like they have flares though.
Not when they throw them on the pitch.
No.
And the other thing is, it's overshadowed when you've got Mr. Moneybags, he's the worst footballer I've ever seen, and you've got the world's greatest,
Neymar,
the world's richest.
I think if you take PSG out the league, it becomes one of the best leagues.
They overshadow it.
I think you should just ignore PSG and.
Yeah, but you can't, because they're the ones winning it every year.
I think you can.
Well, no, that's like saying the Premier League forget about Man City.
Well, I very much have the last year.
Well, you can't though, because they're winning all the leagues. You can't just forget about the person who's.
I think if you're another club in the league and the team is that dominant and able to pump it that money, you already know that you're not competing.
I'm not an Angers fan. If I was an Angers fan, I wouldn't care about PSG, but.
So basically, what you're saying is that Premier League is the best league in the world because you're English.
No. I love what.
You just said I don't like the French league because I'm not going to care about the thoughts of Angers fans because I'm not one.
Well, no, but What I don't care what happens in Ligue 1. I just don't. But like Serie A.
Okay, the league is bad because I don't care. So.
Well, no, but I'm the one talking on the podcast. It's my opinion. It's not
okay, so why don't you like
from America?
Why don't you like Ligue 1? And if you say it's because I don't watch it, then how can you judge that?
I just think it's
okay.
boring.
What game have you watched in the Ligue 1 that you would say is
non-PSG? And they were rubbish.
Non-1.
It's just PSG.
Non-1.
PSG.
Non-beat.
Not that one. No, what was another one?
Let me find it. Non-PSG. The game.
No, but it's okay.
They beat PSG 3-1. It's a fantastic game.
So when I go to the Ligue 1 table, I see PSG top. Boring.
So basically, what you're saying is that the Ligue 1 is bad because when you look at the table, PSG are top.
Well, I'm not going to scroll down and go, well, that's a good relegation fight between Saint Etienne and
Saint Etienne.
Metz.
Isn't that mental?
I don't
that
care.
Bordeaux and Saint Etienne are down there.
No, I don't know. No, is it mental?
It's a story. Yeah, they're big clubs not too long ago.
Whereas I look at the Serie A table and I go,
right.
Oh, crikey.
Should we judge?
We've got a big title race on here. Oh, look at this. We've got a good top 4 race on here. Look at the Premier League. Oh, title race. Big top 4 race. La Liga.
Right,
big names.
La Liga time. Okay, so La Liga, who currently Real are waltzing the league by 7 points, which is about half of what PSG are doing. But if they win their game in hand, that'll be 10 points, only 5 points less than the PSG dominance. That's a really good competitive title fight.
No, and I'm also going to stop one thing. It shows the standard of football with the representation in European competitions.
So basically, you're judging them based on whether or not they're discriminated against in European competitions.
No, not discriminated.
Of course, well, you could say it. You know, France are only getting 2 teams in it, whereas La Liga, Serie A, Premier League all get 4. Is that fair? That French teams don't get the equal opportunity to qualify for the Champions League?
Do they? So what would be the point of having 4 teams in there?
What was the second team in France this year?
Exactly,
in the Champions League.
You don't know.
Lille and PSG.
They've done so much.
Who are they playing? Chelsea.
They could get their ass.
PSG got knocked out first round.
Yeah, they're Real Madrid.
Round
difference.
16. What, between Chelsea and Real Madrid?
Yes.
It's not. I'd say Chelsea right now are a better team than Real Madrid. And Lille lost 2-0 in the first leg, and they got a second leg on the day of recording.
Who was in their group?
Lille had Wolfsburg, Salzburg, and was it Shakhtar?
No, that was in Real Madrid.
I'm trying to think who it was now.
Exactly. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I could beat Wolfsburg with my right foot.
It's probably like Galatasaray.
Exactly.
Like that.
Galatasaray. You could let me I could get 11 players to use their weak foot and we'd beat Galatasaray.
Right, sure. Levante currently bottom of La Liga.
But I don't care. I do not care. And
okay,
I never said I like La Liga.
So what would be your order?
Well,
for the best leagues in the world right now?
I like to see competitiveness and good players. I don't want Kola Bambi, forgotten his name now, from Nantes.
Why not? He's a quality player. Randall Kolo Muani.
Where are Nantes in the league?
7th.
Okay, who's 7th in the Liga?
La Liga. Let's have a gander. Villarreal.
Exactly.
What?
Villarreal are winning Europa Leagues. I don't know what Nantes are doing.
That's just their big glow up this season.
And also,
you don't look at West Ham and go, well, they've not won anything in years, so the Premier League is shit. You don't, do you?
No.
You don't go, well, Real Sociedad, 6th.
Another point.
They're good, aren't they?
Another point. It shows how bad French football is that both their teams are getting knocked out in the round of 16. And
they don't get enough teams in there.
PSG, who are waltzing the league, lost to Nantes. In 7.
Alright, so if you look at Spanish football's entries into the Champions League this season, Barcelona didn't get out of the groups. Out of an easy group, they didn't get out.
Yeah, but they've got no money. How much money have PSG
Have you seen the team?
And
no, but
Obama who? Obama what? That works so well because it's Obama who.
You can't. No, because what you've just said, you're comparing the money of PSG and Barca, but PSG are the champions last season. So you compare them to Atleti. So yes, they don't have the money, but Real, who are also in it too. But Barca and Lille Lille got through to the knockouts, whereas Barca got knocked out in the groups, and Barca had an easy group.
A team with Neymar, Mbappe, Messi should have won the Liga by now by about 50 points.
So it is 15. There's not much else they can do. Yes, they lost to Nantes. But other than that, they've been very dominant.
Kolo Bambi, forgotten his name again.
Rando Kolo Muani.
That's the one.
It's a quality striker. He didn't score in that game. That was Ludovic Blas.
How has Ludovic Blas beaten
He's
Neymar?
a good player.
Not compared to Messi.
Do you not remember the days of not...
Lionel Messi.
Okay. Example. Manchester City. They've lost... So they drew with Southampton early this season.
Southampton would whip Nantes' ass.
I disagree.
Yeah, they would.
No,
Jesus
they wouldn't.
Christ.
So,
no.
Is Armando Broja, who's not better than KDB, is he?
Well, no, they're different positions.
So is Blas and Messi. Messi's a winger, Blas is a midfielder.
Okay.
How would you judge that?
Rando Muani, Mbappe.
Yeah. Broja, Gabriel Jesus.
Broja.
Yeah, because it's Gabriel.
Gabriel Jesus is shit.
Alright, once it's Haaland...
Broja.
City. Okay, you're chatting shit.
No,
you're trying to make your point here.
My order: Premier League,
right?
We're only talking about the Bundesliga. Come on.
Yeah, let's get the Bundesliga.
Bundesliga is an absolute joke.
What? You just hate everything that isn't British.
I love Serie A. And I love the Liga.
There's 7 points.
at
the top between Bayern and Dortmund. What's your problem? Right, what's your problem now?
Okay, how tight is it between like 2nd and 7th?
Okay, so if Dortmund win their game in hand, they'll move to 4 points within Munich. It's very much a Bayern and...
No, because Dortmund are shit.
Dortmund are shit this season. They've got nothing at the back.
Liverpool's defence isn't Mats Hummels and bloody this keeper hasn't got his hands.
Let's stop comparing to Premier League. We've established that is
Well,
top.
we do though, because you always compare things to the top, don't you?
Yeah, but we're talking about the other 4 and deciding which one we're going to put in second.
Dortmund compared to Napoli would beat them.
That was powerful. Napoli would beat them.
Milan would give Bayern a good game.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would.
Milan would get torn apart.
No, Milan. I think you underestimate how good Milan are.
I don't think I do.
You do. Milan are great.
Milan have Olivier Giroud. I love Olivier Giroud.
Jesus,
I think he's very underrated.
Man.
He's very underrated, but he does not compare to Robert Lewandowski.
Would you say that Giroud is better than Lautaro Martinez?
No.
Well, but then who scored in the Milan derby? Who made the difference? Giroud. Martinez, get in the bit.
Okay, so we're judging one game now. Who scored across this one game?
No. It's just a joke.
Okay, well, let's do your thing of comparing teams and positions then. Leverkusen Inter, I think that's a good game.
No, it's Leverkusen Inter. Jesus Christ, Inter would be 10 up by half time.
No, they wouldn't.
Especially if Florian Wirtz, get well soon, feel bad for you. He's broke his ACL, he's out for 9 months.
Just a really weird moment to put it in there. Especially if Florian Wirtz, get well soon, shout out you.
But Inter would whip their ass.
Leipzig would beat Juve.
No, they...
Right now.
Sorry, what? What?
Right now, Leipzig beat Juve.
You are chatting absolute shit.
Also, between Leverkusen
No,
in
not
third...
You just said that Leipzig beat Juventus.
Freiburg, Atalanta.
Atalanta?
Hoffenheim.
How the hell Freiburg fifth?
Because they've had a really good season. Hoffenheim, Roma.
Roma.
Cologne, Lazio.
Lazio.
Union Berlin, who almost got relegated last season.
Wow, you're not going to see Norwich in 8th.
Yeah, because you've had some big teams that have had terrible seasons. Hertha Berlin are currently getting relegated. Gladbach are 13th. Wolfsburg are 12th.
In the relegation zone, Norwich are still behind them.
Wolfsburg got into the Champions League this season. They sit 12th now in the Bundesliga.
Exactly.
Isn't that just a demonstration, though, of how good the rest of the teams are?
Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Liga and Bundesliga. La Liga's good. We've watched Real Madrid. Real Madrid beat PSG to death.
To death.
Barcelona whooped Napoli's ass.
Alright, fine, I'll agree.
Dortmund lost to Rangers.
Rangers are a good team, mate.
Glasgow Rangers, the ones from Scotland.
So what was your ranking again? Premier League, La Liga.
No, Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, Liga.
I'd put La Liga ahead of Serie A. It's been a good season, but I think overall... Alright, let's do your weird comparing teams thing again. Real Madrid AC Milan get battered.
No, they don't.
Sevilla Napoli. Sevilla I think just edge it. Barca Inter, Barca
No.
Atleti Juve, Atleti win that easy.
What?
What?
Juventus beat Atleti. Sevilla get annihilated by Napoli.
No, they do not.
Villarreal would give Atalanta would give Lazio a good game. Sociedad would get absolutely annihilated by Roma. Betis wouldn't stand a chance against Atalanta.
I think if we're talking about it right now, what game would you rather watch in a top 2 clash? Because I think that's the easiest way you can rank this.
Yeah.
Liverpool Man City. Napoli AC. Bayern Dortmund. Real Sevilla. Marseille PSG.
Put PSG Marseille bottom.
Yeah, alright. Then I'd say Real Madrid Sevilla.
No!
I'd rather watch Dortmund Bayern than Real Madrid Sevilla.
Because Bayern get pummeled. Sorry, Dortmund get pummeled.
No, they're not.
Okay, fine. Real Madrid Sevilla. Then Dortmund Bayern.
You know what? We can probably
then
judge
Liverpool
this.
City. Milan Napoli top.
We can probably judge this once we've watched a game from every league on TFC Live.
I'm not watching Ligue. I'm not watching it.
No, but we've seen PSG play, alright?
Yeah, that counts, and they were rubbish.
Because we're seeing we're going to watch Borussia Dortmund Leipzig on the 2nd of April. It's going to be a good game.
PSG is by far the best team in France.
And we have Real Madrid Barca on the 20th of March.
Hear me out. PSG are by far the best team in France.
Right.
They were annihilated by Real Madrid.
They weren't annihilated.
Yes,
they won 1-0 in the first leg.
Take them out of their team.
They then win. Yeah, but I think if you take Neymar and Messi out and replace them with able footballers, I'm not saying that Messi isn't, but Messi is struggling this season.
Take those 3 out. Chuck Muniain, Endaziri, and who plays on the right for Sevilla. They still get smashed.
Muniain for Sevilla. He plays for Bilbao, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
My boy, Muniain.
See, this I don't care. I'm not interested.
So what we've learned today is that a league is bad because you don't care.
Yeah.
It'll be En-Nesyri, Martial, Lamela, Corona, Suso, Gomez, Ocampo.
And you're telling me that compares to Vinicius?
You know what?
Benzema,
we can judge the day after this comes out because we'll be watching West Ham Sevilla.
Sevilla are going to get...
Sevilla won.
Yes, because they're second. The West Ham are rubbish. West Ham
are not
awful.
Rubbish. What is this? Alright, this is the amount of injuries Sevilla have going into this game. Diego Carlos.
No, I don't hear
Gomez, Lamela, Fernando, Montiel, Rakic, Acuna,
No,
Suso.
you still have to go out there and get the 3 points. Just like Leeds. Yes, you've got players injured.
To be fair, West Ham have Bowen, Ogbonna, Cresswell, Antonio Vlasic, Soufal. So it's going to be a good game of second. Okay, so we've just gone Sevilla. I know you've got loads of injuries, but you should be battering West Ham. Oh, West Ham are injured. Oh, they're going to lose. How tough.
No, I'm sorry, but they can still get the points.
You're just directly contradicting yourself.
No, I haven't. West Ham are rubbish anyway. West Ham are going to lose. Anyway. Sure. Sevilla are going to annihilate
Of course, Barca Real coming up soon. That's going to be a good game.
That's going to be absolute rubbish.
We're watching it. We'll be live.
Can't wait.
It's going to be a good game.
No, it's Real Madrid. Benzema's going to score a hat-trick.
Well, that's coming this Sunday. So that's going to be exciting. After the Bahrain GP.
Spend my Sunday evenings.
After the
watching Benzema score more goals.
And soon we'll get to see whether Galatasaray can beat Barcelona.
You're joking.
What? That's in the Europa.
Are they still in the Europa League?
It was 0-0 between Barca and Galatasaray last Thursday. So this Thursday, unfortunately, the game will be done.
And you're telling me
it was at the Nou Camp.
Real Madrid, who are beating PSG, are going to lose.
Barca turn up for games
against Barca turn up for games.
Real.
You don't draw 0-0 Galatasaray one week and then lose and then beat Real Madrid the next week.
When was the last time they played Real Madrid? They drew 1-1 with Napoli and then slapped them 4-2 just a week later. The Super Cup this year between Real Madrid and Barca was 3-2 Real Madrid. The week before, Barcelona drew 1-1 with Granada. So, yeah, again, just proving your point wrong. And the other game between the two was 2-1 Real Madrid.
Lovely. I'm had enough. Can we go on to FPL?
So hang on. Let's give our final ranking. Premier League is firmly at the top.
Serie A.
I'm happy to put Serie A there.
La Liga.
I think it's
Bundesliga.
Liga, Bundesliga,
Liga.
All right.
Thank you. FPL time, baby.
All right. This man's upset. Now he's gonna get even more upset because his team is shit.
We did last week.
We'll discuss last week.
I have absolutely fucking smashed it.
We'll save our picks going into next week for Prem predictions as HS Hell requested.
104.
Or we might
104.
Oh yeah, I forgot we've got to discuss that week.
I smashed it.
No, wrong week.
Game 28 last week. We haven't talked about this one, have we?
No, game week 29 will be last week. Game week 28 was the week before. It's because the podcast last week we recorded before. So, okay, we'll do all of FPL. We'll discuss game week 28 because you're buzzing about it.
Game week 28. 9 from Jose Sarr.
Mate,
6 from Rudiger.
How many points?
104.
123.
I don't care. 2 from Walker Peters to get out. Digne 6. Cathcart 1. Zaha 8. Ramsey 6. Salah 3. Phil Coutinho, have my children, 46 points.
He was the only
captained.
reason you've got 104
Kane
points.
13. Dennis 4.
My team... 123 points, Sarr 9, Digne 6, Kamara 1, Thiago Silva 8, Salah 3, Coutinho 23, Mount 32, Armstrong 10, Hwang 7, Breuer 4 and Ings 20. If I had Trent 12 on my bench instead of Kamara, I'd be on 134, which would have been lovely, but if only you could turn back time.
Anyway, game 29. So far, obviously there's still games to be played.
Yeah.
It's
recording on the Monday.
I've got 50 already.
I have 43.
I've got 6 from Jose Sarr, 5 from Rudiger. I've got Tierney 6 and he's still got a game to play. Walker Peters 1. Kulusevski 5 and he's still got a game to play. I've got Joe Willock who didn't play against Chelsea but he's still got to play Everton, so hopefully he can play in that game. I've got Salah 9 but still a game to play. Coutinho 2, Vegas 2. Kane captained, got me 12 against United, but he's still got a game to play, and then Dennis 2.
I have Salah, Son and Trent still to play. I'm on 43 points. If you want to check out my team, I am currently...
Oh, she did a league.
238th in the Football Chat League.
I am 399.
Let's go see King Kai Havertz. Let me scroll all the way down. Oh, there we are. 238.
Our cup has started this game week. Game 29.
I got a bye.
I also got a bye because I got 104 in game 28.
I got 123.
So my cup will start in game week 30. I feel sorry for whoever's going to get me because you're going to get smashed.
God, you are really intimidating from there.
Do you want to go through the league? Top 5.
I was just going to have a little look. Chris Martin, he's on the same points as me. But he's 237th. I'm coming for him. Just want to tell him that.
Alright, okay.
If you're listening, Chris Martin.
Top 5?
Ideally, for this season, I'd like to get top 200. If possible. How many points do I need for that? So 200th is 1,610. I'm on 1,583. I think that's doable.
Yeah.
I need to gain 30 points more than those people in like 10 game weeks.
So I'll do the top 5 now and then we'll get into...
Top 100's a little harder. That's like 1,700 points already. So
right, I'm looking at the top.
100 points off.
Massive gap between first and second.
Damn, Danny Geller is different gravy. FPL Peru, top of the league. 59 points this week. He's on 2012. He's literally into years we recognise. That is mental. 10 more points, and he'll be in 2022. 9 more points will be in last year. Yeah, so 2012, Danny Geller, shout out first. I mean, it'll be on screen now, so you can read it anyway. Josh Bothan, Mutant Ninja Skirtles, 59 points as well this week, but he's on 1,965. That's a huge gap. Is that insurmountable, though? What do you reckon? Is Danny Geller already the champion of the Football Chat League? The first time we've ever done the FPL League.
Possibly.
Is he going to be crowned our first champion?
Possibly.
Maybe we need to do something for our first FPL champion. We need a wall of champions.
If we can, also, it'd be interesting to see if we can get in touch with him, with whoever wins.
FPL Peru.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Yeah, they're on Instagram.
Okay, well,
Sort out. I mean, I'm not going to give a... No, we're not give a prize. That's a terrible idea.
oh yeah, not doing any prizes, fish right off.
But we'll stick him on a wall or something.
Yeah, I've got plenty of space. Maybe in here somewhere. Maybe not, actually.
Yeah, just on set all the time. Yeah. We can do Saturn, either a wall or like a Saturn one. A display. Third place at Drayton. He's only 22 points behind Josh Botha, so bit of a battle I think for second's going to emerge. And 23 points behind him, Athy Marley, the Godfathers. And in 5th place, redemption season, Romario Clarkent. He's just gone down. He's gone behind Athy Marley. Yep, redemption season not going to plan so far. So he's down to 5th, 5 points off the Godfathers, Athy Marley. I mean, to be fair, we're mocking him saying he's gone down in his redemption season, but he is in 5th still. It's not like he's having a stinker.
I have done the random thing where we scroll down and find someone, and this week I have found...
I'm just going to scroll randomly and
I'm just
click
going to read
one.
the name in my head to make sure it's appropriate. Danish Fudhale, that's your name. I don't know what your team name is. Because there's lots of letters and lots of words.
FSG Out Brigade. I don't know.
They're on 70 for this week with big scores from like 12 from Matip, 11 from Benrahma, 18 from Salah captain, and 17 from Ronaldo.
Right.
On the very few.
I've randomly selected someone. They've got very low points, 29.
Oh dear.
But I picked them because their name. I was scrolling through, saw it. Garden Gnome FC. Shout out Caleb Gowan. 29 points this week. 1,495 in January. He's 390th. So he's still ahead of you. Garden Gnome FC. Mudding up the Lincoln.
Yeah.
there you are.
I'm coming for him.
Up the Lincoln.
Garden Gnome FC, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
Coming for you.
If Garden Gnome FC is watching, please get in touch.
He's coming for you.
Leave a message in the comments about how badly you're going to destroy Harry here.
No, I'm going to.
And bottom of our league on 398 points is Suit and Tie Pappy. I mean, he's got 500 points to make up to try and get to 752nd, but you never know.
How have they that far behind?
I guess they only started recently. But some people are on like 800 points. Oh, we have had some movement though. 735th and 736th are just swap positions. That's an interesting battle. Anyway, I'm just looking at random scraps now in our league for 730.
524 for actually having a great scrap.
Yeah, I think that's about everything though for this show.
Yeah, podcast.
It's been a long one.
Podcast,
long pod.
Yeah. On the pod. We are on the pod.
Horrible clap. Apologies to everyone on Spotify.
I am actually gonna. Yeah, I'll do it probably. This podcast probably been very loud throughout.
Probably when you were going, I hate the Liga because they're not British.
So loud. Because your microphone funny, you have to be really loud. But yeah,
sorry.
I apologise sincerely to everyone that had to listen to that. But up the AC Milan.
That was officially the weirdest thing that's happened on this podcast. Right.
I don't know why I was going to go for up the Liverpool, but then I realised I hate Liverpool.
Episode 29. It's been a madness.
It's been a great one. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been good fun.
Looking forward to editing it.
Coincidentally, game week. It's episode 29. It's game week 29 in the Prem. Just happened. In fact, most games played is 29 for most teams. Yeah. Across all the leagues. I mean, I don't know how I haven't noticed that before, but it would have coincided for the last few weeks. It wouldn't have just happened now. Because we only post once a week.
Yeah.
Teams only play once a week.
Well, here you go, guys. Little hidden secret for you. We time our podcast with Premier League game weeks.
Not when
if you are watching Prem predictions,
we'll probably post 2 at one point, and we'll post throughout the summer. So.
You know there'll be a podcast episode out with the same number. If you're watching this podcast, you'll know there'll be Prem predictions out game week 30.
Right.
Oh, they don't coincide.
No.
Because this 29 goes out on a Wednesday, but then game week
30
30 goes
this weekend.
So
Next
everything we've just said in the last 2
episode
minutes was
30.
pointless.
And if we do 2 podcast episodes a week for whatever reason,
Football chair.
then yeah. Right. That's about everything for this podcast, though. If you're listening on Spotify, head over to the YouTube, share the love. If you're on YouTube, head on over to the Spotify. Hit add to episodes, hit download. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, like, leave a comment. That's really annoying.
It's like some, there's a bit of background music.
It's just annoying. But yeah. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
See you guys.